This is the current presentation station I have set up in my shop. I've used this area for projects like rebuilding the Trabant's engine on video, and it works fairly okay for that, but the problem is the more I use this space on video, the more I get comments like, you ought to be careful, otherwise you're going to turn around and walk off into that pit. Or, you should build a guardrail around that pit so you don't fall into it. Or, that pit is a hideous backdrop to your videos, you should do something about it. Or, your face is ugly. And frankly, I'm getting sick of hearing comments like this, so I'm finally going to move my presentation station to another area in the shop. The only problem is, the area in the shop that I want to use for my new presentation station is currently occupied by my woodworking tools. So if I want to use this area as a presentation area, I need to move all this stuff to somewhere else. The only problem is, I don't have a space in the shop to move these tools to, and in addition, I don't want them in this building at all anyway, because every time I use any of these tools, especially that table saw, everything in the shop gets coated with a fine layer of wood dust, which is only slightly less annoying than living next to an active volcano. It would be nice if I had a dedicated room that I could make into a dedicated wood shop to keep all of my woodworking tools in and keep all that wood dust contained into one building. Thankfully, my shop provides, because just behind me is an attached building that used to be an automotive paint booth, complete with an extraction fan and everything. What I'm going to do with this paint booth is convert it into my dedicated wood shop, and all I have to do is add some lights in there, add some power outlets, and boom, wood shop. Now, I know what you may be thinking at this point. I run an automotive YouTube channel, I work on cars. Why don't I just convert this paint booth back into an actual paint booth? Let's be honest though, I'm never going to use this as an actual paint booth. I don't have any of the tools necessary, I don't have any of the skills necessary, I'm not willing to learn, and frankly, I just don't want to. Painting takes too much time to do properly. But just in case I change my mind in the future and decide to make it a paint booth, I'm not going to take out the extraction fan, I'm just going to block it off from the outside so it'll be easily convertible back into a paint booth. But anyway, let's get started, first with clearing out the junk, and then adding some lights. And boom, we have lights, 12 of them. Okay, I'll be honest, it's actually 11 because that's all Menards had in stock. I'll have to come back later and add in this missing light. But we have lights anyway. And now that the LEDs are up and I can actually see inside the paint booth without having all the doors open and letting the sunshine in, it's time to add some power via some power outlets. On! Done. Whoops! Which side had the failure? I could look at the footage, but this is... Oh, I think this side had the failure. Is this side on? That side works. I need to inspect those. I did something stupid. Which one did I screw up? Sniff test time. They all smell like metal. This one is actively smoking. This is where I screwed up, but how did I screw up? What went wrong in here? Oh yeah, I think that was the problem. Just a chafed wire here. Oh yeah, there's burn marks. Fix the chafing with a little bit of electricity tape. Now wire everything back up and hope for the best. And with that fixed, let's try it a second time. Flip the breaker back on and hope for no smoke or burning or poppy. Two quick things to note, each side is on its own separate circuit, and yes, I did place these outlets somewhat randomly. hence the weird spacing, but whatever. These flaps don't even move anymore, they're so caked on with paint. It's a very thick layer of paint. Now, let's see the wasp get in now. Now that the what used to be a paint booth is all lit up and electrified, it's time to move all the stuff in this vicinity to somewhere else. Ta-da! I have a presentating space now. The last step is to install this very large sheet of white plexiglass I got for free from my last job to use as a backdrop and a whiteboard to write silly things on, and possibly explanations from time to time. This is the best part of the whole thing. Peeling off all the warning labels that tell me this is flammable. This is the state of my wood shop now that everything's sort of moved in here. It's just sort of randomly scattered about. I have the tools approximately where I want them. I haven't set up anything properly. But what I wanted to talk about was this granite tabletop that you've seen in a lot of previous shots. This is a granite, it used to be a conference table that I got from my last job. They just gave it away, so I got it for free. And unfortunately, because it weighs 1,000,000 pounds, I dropped it a little bit, which is why the end broke off. I managed to stitch together the broken end piece with some construction adhesive and clamps, and I plan to stitch the end piece onto the rest of the tabletop with more construction adhesive and a new table base that I'm going to be making for it, one that's height adjustable and is higher up to match the outfeed of the table saw. If you'd like to see a video of repairing this granite countertop, tabletop, and making a new base for it, let me know in the comments. I'll make a short little project video for it. Anyway, if you're wondering what happened to the area that used to be my presentation station, here it is. This is a shelving unit I put here. I plan to put another one right about here where I'm standing to act as sort of a wall so I don't accidentally walk off into the pit, which I have done on accident once. It was a bit like taking a step and wondering where the ground went, and then I was in the pit. It didn't hurt much. It'll be nice when the day comes that I can fill in the pit and concrete over the top of it and actually regain all of this dead space in my shop. But until that day comes, I shall build a wall around the ledge so that I don't walk off into it. Anyway, ta-da! I'm done. Well, actually, that's a lie. Everything that was over in this corner is now scattered around the entire rest of the shop, so I have a load of reorganizing to do ahead of me. But as far as the video is concerned, and as far as the presentation area is concerned, I'm done. So thanks for watching, and thanks again to all my patrons at patreon.com for continuing to support me. I'll see you in the next video.